So we're going to talk about blogging days today. You guys have a template that I put together. Now, I want to caution you. I'm just giving you best practices. What you don't want to do within your blogging is necessarily become mechanical to where it's like, you know, you're using Greek and then you're just slugging a keyword in there and all of those spots. That was not my intent, but really my intention is to get you started. You want to have 3 to 5 key important keyword or keyword phrases that you're building your website house on. You don't want to have 20, that's too diverse. Narrow it down, and the narrower the better. I've got a couple of clients who are in industries where they have 2 to 3. Awesome. Man, that makes it so much easier to refine. We pull articles and pull content and write blogs based on those 3 to 5 keywords. So their intent, you can do your reason for blogging can even be different. You can be a blogger completely for relational purposes. You're connecting, you're trying to get the mass following, which is going to be harder and harder after the summer once Google drops Reader. That it's going to be tougher for people to navigate new ways to follow your blog. I told you guys last week, I'll reiterate, make sure you have an email opt-in on your blog so you can begin converting those folks right away. July 1st is the cutoff. Reader will no longer be in play. And if you have a ton of people who are following your blog on Reader, you're going to lose that connectivity that you have with those folks. So convert, use a FeedBurner or another source to have an email opt-in so they're getting an email of your blog post. I follow several blogs that way. So people in the industry who I find to be interesting and they communicate well, and I gather information from them, as well as commercial industry people who actually work for Google and work for Facebook, so that I have a little bit of my ear to the ground as much as you can hear what's going on inside that company. So anyway, we're on our website, and this is a blog post that I created yesterday. Now, don't critique me on creative writing, because I was doing this intentionally for this purpose, so that we visited what are some of the components, like on your sheet, that you should have in a blog post to optimize it for keyword search. You want Google to find your page, and your blog post is adding content on a hopefully weekly basis. Should I ask how many people are actively blogging at all?
Is active considered weekly or monthly? Or
Well, you
Regularly.
regularly.
So like monthly, every month,
Okay.
every week, every.
So maybe newsletter, maybe monthly.
Oh, yeah. 2 a week.
Okay.
Excuse me, 2 a month.
All right. So use those in conjunction with one another.
I'll put my blog in mind.
Yeah, your blogging
If I have to.
content should be part of what you're feeding out to your newsletter. You have a little excerpt in your newsletter and you say read more and click and it goes to your blog. The whole idea of all of this is to drive people back to the piece of real estate that you own online that you set the rules for. Again, Phil mentions this, and Phil Chevane mentions this often. Your blog, your website is the one thing that you're the master of. You control it. In most cases, you own it unless you're contracting an outside source. You own it. So nobody can change the algorithm rules on your website and suddenly your blog doesn't work anymore. Versus Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, those things are moving targets. We have to use them, but we don't build our foundation on them. Your blog is where you build your foundation. You broadcast from your blog, and hopefully people come back to your website. You have an amazing looking website with a great call to action, and then you're getting conversions. Right? So that's the hub, that centerpiece. Everything else is out here, newsletter, click ads, and all of that. Those are viable things that you have to have and you need to do, but your website is the hub that they should all be built off of. So it does need to look great. It does need to have a great conversion. It needs to see, here, have an opt-in, some kind of click me button, a very important call to action, the one thing you want people to do. So on the blog post, see, I can't get it to scroll. I'll try the other side. There we go. All right. So this is a blog post. It's not an exciting title. It's a little bit lame, but I was trying to get a point across that I was using blog posting template just as a common keyword. It's not a great keyword. It's not a keyword that I would use, but for this case, I wanted it to be the consistent thing we use. So it's in the title. Your title is brief and to the point, and your keyword is embedded in there in a way that is enticing. Because again, you think about it. You broadcast, it goes out to all of these social media sites, and it's got the title and hopefully a picture there that you had from the blog, and it's got to be enticing. It's got to say, oh, I got to read more about that, whatever that is. Something about solar. Hey, I want to know more about solar. I'm going to click that, go to the article, and read it. And then you've got them on your website where you've got a great call to action that says, get a free quote on your house for solar, or whatever it is that you would offer in that case. So then I come in next and I have an H2 heading, and I ask the question, why should I use a blog posting template for writing a blog post? And again, I just highlighted it so that you would see that it's in there. So I've got keyword title, keyword, and the H2 heading. And then I begin to write the article, and then first paragraph here. It's also there, you'll see that. Also in the picture, the meta description for the picture is also the keyword. Those of you who do a lot of this, you'll find that in many cases people will find you actually from pictures because they're highly searchable. Google likes to give you a delivery of a mixed bag. They want to give you some pictures, and they want to give you some videos, and they want to give you articles when you initially do a Google search. So in some cases, it'll serve up a group of pictures that are under that search that you just did. That can be one of your pictures that's a very enticing picture that goes to this great blog post or not great blog post. Yeah.
How did you get your keywords, the letters on that picture? I mean, did you created that?
That's just a graphic. That was just, I'm just being playful and put the word on the graphic that I grabbed and re-edited.
So anyone can do that.
It's more important, the meta description behind the image.
What you call it.
What you call the image is more important than what's actually on the image. What's on the image is just for visually enticing. Make me want to click.
So I could call every one of mine Life Coaching 1, Life Coaching 2, Life Coaching 3, and it's going to, or is that not good? I mean, those are keywords.
Yeah, but
Well,
I would
show me
need,
that.
It should be the same keyword that you're using in your blog post.
it should be,
Oh, matching the blog
yeah,
post.
yeah.
Yes.
So the key,
Okay.
yeah, good point. It needs to match.
Not
Keyword,
just
keyword,
Mhm.
meta description,
Okay.
keyword,
That's
keyword. And again, hopefully you're being yourself in your writing, unless, you know, I don't consider myself a great writer, so I let Dale do all of that, and I just tell her what I'd like to say.
And that works, right?
So another H2 heading that has blog posting template, and then some descriptions, some how-to descriptions that are on your sheet, things to do, okay? And then as we continue on, I just added an excerpt here about what I just said. Your blog, it should look like this. This is your website, and this is your blog. Everything out here is drawing people. It's the cheese that you're leaving out to try to get the mice to come to your website. And again, wide variety of things that you can do there based on your business and how you can attract people. And then we continue on. There's another H2
The fact that
heading.
you put a link in.
And yes, I do. These are actually linked to the template that is on the website. I have this template in a PDF on the website. If you click any of those, it would go to the link. I've way overdone it. I'm verging on stuffing here. So don't stuff. I just want you to get the example. I'm also using a tool that I'm going to show you here in just a moment. So we use Yoast on our WordPress blog, and as you write, you can go down below. We're going to jump over to this blog post here in a minute. And it's a plugin that you can utilize that basically coaches you along the way and says, you should do this and this and this and this to improve this blog post.
Really?
For keywords.
It's awesome.
It's a fantastic tool.
It's awesome.
It helps you in the process. And again, you don't want to overdo it. Google, you don't want to stuff. You want to make it naturally readable to the reader to where you're not saying blog posting tools in Tucson and also other blog posting tools that might be helpful for other people who post blogs and like to read blog posting tools. It's got to be normal and like you're having a conversation, and subheadings, etc. Some of those things are appropriate. So if you look right here, I don't know how much you can, I'll read some of this to you. And here's actually an image of the report. So for this article, it says the copy score is 65.4 in the Flesh Reading Ease test, which is considered okay to read. Okay, so it's telling your reading level. If you've written it too intellectual or not too intellectual, is it okay for reading? The keyword phrase appears in the URL for the page, so that's a piece I couldn't necessarily show you from here, but you can see that it's right there, blog posting template for generating website SEO. The image on the page contains alt tags with the keyword phrase. The page has 2 outbound links. Keyword key phrase appears in 1 out of 2 subheadings in the copy. While it's not a major ranking factor, it is beneficial. The keyword appears in the first paragraph of the copy. In the specific meta description, consider, does it compare to the competition? Could it be made more appealing? Okay, so it's giving you suggestions all along the way. The page title contains keyword phrase at the beginning, which is considered to improve rankings. The meta description contains the primary keyword phrase. There are 335 words contained in the body copy. This is greater than 300 word recommended minimum. The keyword density is 1.52%, which is great. The keyword was found 5 times. The page title is more than 40 characters. I got a little long on my characters. And less than the recommended 70 character limit. I'm okay there. So all of that were recaps that it gave me, that Yoast gave me. And so those are things you can remember, or this tool will help you remember it. And it's a little bit like a game. I explained that. Okay, you just got to hit it right on the edge there. The importance in all of this is that we want to get you started. Some of you guys are active, you're blogging, you're going very actively at the blogging process, but you're just a little intimidated by it maybe still, or you don't think that you can do it. You can, because you are an expert at what you do, right? You know landscaping, right? And I know you're a trusted resource for landscaping. So that should be something that you should be able to talk about and write about and explore and say things about, right? In a conversation you can do that. So within that, you should be able to write some copy about that. You just want to be a little bit organized so that you don't come in and Deborah's not going to come in and write about 5 different topics in a single article. She's going to be more concise. And she's going to be talking about, I don't know, keywords for you are
Desert landscaping.
desert landscaping. So she's going to write an article about appropriate desert landscaping. In desert landscaping, you can go 100 directions with desert landscaping. Water, the right kind of desert landscaping. All of the different directions you could go with that. You can write a lot of articles about desert landscaping. So within that, you can take desert landscaping and frame it in multiple different ways and talk about multiple different aspects of what we live with in our landscaping here in the desert. And it's content that people do care about. People get on, what do I, desert landscaping, what do I do? All the different questions that people may ask, your content will be out there and available to answer those questions. Okay.
Is that program you're using called Yoast?
YOAST? Yeah.
It's free.
Like toast with a Y. Okay, sometimes it likes to scroll, sometimes it doesn't. So let's jump over, and I'm going to just do it quickly via the easy navigation. And we'll look at behind the scenes on it. Maybe you guys can help me craft a post.
Well, look at any of the ones that have green. So you get the green dot.
Yeah,
As you
I'm
get
gonna actually
closer
back up.
to being SEO maximized, you get the green dot.
So it's a game. You
That's
go
what-
from red to green. When you
That's
get
what Yoast
green, you get
does?
to
Yeah.
stand up, do a little
It's
dance.
incredible.
So when you see yellow or orange, you go, oh gosh, where am I missing out here? Go
Yeah,
back
and it tells you, it kind of
Yeah,
scores you and tells you
what
where
you haven't
you're
done right.
missing,
Right.
or where
So-
you've overdone it.
Yeah.
So some of them that we haven't fleshed out, or it was just, again, we still put content out that we don't build SEO around.
Yeah.
We put it out because it's information that people need, or it serves another purpose. And this one serves another purpose.
Yeah, the reason that's there is we put a coupon on So Very Social. You can get a free download of it. So,
Can I get a suggestion?
Yeah.
One of the things that you guys have already gone into plagiarism, and make sure you guys don't plagiarize.
Yes.
Because Google will ding you. But one of the things, if you originate, your website's always the best place to originate fresh content. But if you take the same blog that you do within your website and condense it to about 60% of that, you want to originate the 60% version onto Google Plus first before you do any other social network to give you a higher ranking.
oh,
So one of the things over the last couple of weeks, which Google has done, is if you originate on Google Plus, website's always the best way to originate, but you want to make Google Plus the
okay.
second.
So go to Google Plus second instead
Yes.
of what we normally do is go to Facebook
Yeah.
second.
Yeah,
Right.
Facebook
When
is
you
actually.
say 60%, you mean the top 60% of your posts?
Well, basically what it is, like a lot of the blogs are too long, obviously. So what you want to do, most blogs are a little longer than what you're going to post on a social media backend link to your website. So you pretty much get what you do, condense it to about 60% of what you wrote up there. That way it's still original, fresh content. That way it's not copied verbatim. Otherwise, your website's still the initial where it originated. Because Google, what they do now is that whoever originates it gets credit. So if they plagiarize your blog, for instance, you'll keep getting credit throughout the ranking.
Right.
So you don't want to post identical content on your blog and the Google Plus page. But before you go to Facebook or Twitter or any other blogging type of backlinks coming into your site, Google Plus would be the second order.
Yeah, so again,
Wow, that's good
Again,
information.
what you're saying, Ed, is originating a post. It's not a link of this blog post, which you would do as well. But you're actually going to take the image and you're going to go over and take the copy and you're going to reshape it.
Reshape it about 60%.
Reshape it about 60% because you're dead on. And the brilliant thing is once you write the content, if you write good content and people copy and paste your content, you get credit for it still. Google recognizes duplicate content and originator always gets credit.
Google
And it
Plus.
should be, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
And if you do it on Facebook first and then copy it onto Google Plus, it's replicated content. You want the next level of content
We just
origination
link it on
should be
Facebook.
Google Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, we don't utilize Facebook for original SEO. All of that, and it should be through Google Plus because it's built for that. And in our last class, Phil spent some time on that on Google Plus and how important that process is. Again, he talked about the guys at Google, or they downplay what they say publicly, but it does matter a great deal.
And it's not too competitive of a heading like word landscape for yourself or real estate, but if you do
So
work
change
on,
the heading too?
well, no, but a lot of times what happens, the post itself will populate first page organically. for a day or two until the next fresh content comes out. So it's a good way to get up there for a couple of days on not the more competitive headings. It's a lot more than just that. But on some of the obscure type keywords you're going after, like maybe secondary keywords, those are easier to get to first page just with the blog itself.
Yeah, and Gary Wagner presented on Google Plus, and he reiterated all of this. And that.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay because most of you guys haven't heard it, and you definitely need to remember that Google Plus is a different animal than all of the other social channels. When you think of Google Plus, you think of, yes, connecting with people, but you're also thinking SEO because it's very powerful. It's really the only one that I would consider to be extremely powerful for substantial SEO. Yeah.
If you've done a video that you put on YouTube, since it's Google, you usually do your video and then you do your blog if you're putting it in the blog. So is that okay?
We're still originated on YouTube yet. If what you want to do is put that same YouTube video like on Google and other video sites as well. So 15 other sites, I believe.
Yep. Yeah. List them, and that's part of that process that we walked through with YouTube for.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Originated on Google Plus as well. You can upload that same video to Google Plus. You're going to put it on YouTube, everywhere else. Again, the value
Just don't
is
link it.
just put it out in every upload channel that you can. You want that content to be out there, highly searchable. Yes.
And I did a video to go with my blog about a month ago, and it just went on Google Plus automatically. I didn't send it.
Because your accounts are linked.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you've linked your Google Plus and your YouTube, so it's recognizing your content there and auto post.
I went to go do it, but it's
Yeah.
already there.
Yeah, you can set that up intentionally, but once you link your account, it'll do it automatically. Okay, so back to blog. All right, so again, you see here, and you have a little button here, so you can say check, and it's going to take me down, and it's going to give me a recap in Yoast of the blog post. I still had one read, but the article itself is overall. I linked to another page with the keyword you want this page to rank for. Consider changing that if you truly want the page ranked. Oh,
Truly.
you truly want the page to rank, you screwed up. So I got to fix that.
Is this something we can download ourselves, or if Sharif's managing my website, does he have to do the plugin?
It depends on how comfortable you are loading plugins.
I would ask Sharif to do it.
Okay.
There's a couple other plugins
if-
ready to be
He
loaded.
did it for me.
Okay.
If you're comfortable doing plugins, do it yourself. If not, have your webmaster do that for you. But again, you can see, again, the different pieces of it that we talked about, and a couple that I changed late and needed to fix. So I can go back and fix those and make corrections to make the page maximum searchable. And again, the dilemma is I don't want to be this mechanical, I'm just only creating content for SEO, but I also don't want to waste my time. I want my time to count, I want my time to be valuable, and I want my site to be more searchable so that people are picking up the phone and calling me to do work, right? I hope that's what we all want, right? Or maybe you want an email. I mean, whatever it is for you.
Mike, what is a slug?
A slug?
Yeah.
Uh,
The third
different-
one, yeah.
Yeah. The slug is the
The third one.
title up top, I believe. I don't have a definition for slug. I believe it's referring to
It's that yellow thing there.
the back end half of your and it is because I created a title too long. I should have cut that off. The slug should have been more of a synopsis of the keyword, and so it's the back half of your. That took me a minute. Yes.
Well, one of the things to be careful of is that the very first subject line that you put, title, it becomes the slug.
Right.
And then as you're writing, you might change what the keyword is and then change your
Yeah.
title. You've got to go back in and hit edit there and,
Right.
and retype the new one in. It doesn't change automatically. It keeps
So,
that very first one that you put in.
Whatever you typed in first, did you guys catch that? So wait on your title until you're really ready to go. I have some other friends who they like to do all of their crafting in a Word document because they're just comfortable. And then they'll copy and paste over. Make sure you clear the formatting from the Word document before you bring it over. But before you put this title in, just keep in mind that that slug is going to be built on what you type in there the first time. You don't hit save or anything else, it's just going to automatically remember. And then if you need to edit it, you can come back and change it here. Type in what you want in the context of this is the URL that's going to be created that's going to be married to this blog post.
So, Mike, are you live on this right now?
Yeah, I'm
So
live on this post, so we can make changes.
You could change it, slug, to see if your score went up, right?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
I
why
could.
don't you do that? Why don't you make it
Let's see.
short? and
Let's see. Let's just call it blog posting template. Typing, I'm not sure I'm how to type on this thing. I'm going to have
We
to
don't
walk
wanna
over
go
here.
I wanted to see it.
Okay,
How are you going to type? There's a way to do it, but okay.
and then you have to click on check.
Now I'm going to check.
Actually,
on-
this is really fun to use.
Yeah.
It is. It's like a game. It is like a game.
It's fun.
Make it better.
So you're
Well,
going to
this is-
continue to
yeah.
play with
Is it
it.
like having Dale and Mike grading your paper?
Right.
So the weird thing is something
change it.
happened on my post to where my keyword density changed.
It's under 1%.
Yeah, it was. So I'll have to go back and look at it and see what else I accidentally changed. But let's show you the other pieces here. This is going to be a little bit. When you're normally looking at your Yoast panel, this is what you're normally seeing. And down here is where you come and what is your focus keyword? And this is where you start grading from. You're going to put that in. What is your SEO title? You're going to put that in. If you have any questions on anything, you've got the little question marks there and it'll pop up and give you a little better definition of what it's looking for there. Meta description, and that's the snippet that's going to go with your article that delivers on Google or other search engines. So let's see. It also tells you when you're creating it. It's limited to 156 characters. I left 16 characters on the table, so I could have added something else to it if it made sense. But here is this is the primary where you land. Then once you begin to test the page, you'll go to page analysis here, and then you can actually, there are some more steps that you can do. You can make your meta robots, you can make it follow or no follow. Let's see, anything else that you might want to change? Oh, it's the text sitemap priority. I don't think I would mess with that very much further there. And then if you wanted to add descriptions for the other social media channels, if you wanted to share directly from the URL, depending on how you decided to post this. As we said, there's value in recrafting and reshaping and going out to Google Plus and creating original posts. Everywhere else, I would just send a link over from the blog post. Any other questions on that part? So, I actually do find it a little bit fun. You're trying to wrestle back and forth but you kind of get in the habit of it to where you know some pieces as you're writing, to where you don't have to be as slow, because it can take a while to get the rhythm of creating a blog post.
I think it's a great feature.
Yes, it does.
That's
Everything that we're talking about today, it will help you do, but again, just don't let it make you mechanical to where it's just words and keywords. Make it valuable content that people want to read and share. Somebody sharing your post, that's your blog post, driving traffic to your site, that's a big one. Organic traffic that you don't have to pay for, everybody wants that. Not everybody can create the kind of content that it takes to get that kind of organic traffic. We're not all Seth Godin.
Oh, I was just going to suggest that you describe how we did the blog post 2 weeks ago when you came up with that keyword phrase that you thought would be searched a lot. and then I wrote the blog post. All the changes on Facebook, LinkedIn. And
Oh, okay, okay.
So that was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so Dale and I collaborate a lot. I'll find a graphic or something else, and again, I typically will allow her to craft because she's a lot better
You're
at.
just too busy.
Well, that too. But so she'll craft and come up with a keyword. Let me see if I can find that one.
You go back to the
'Cause
dashboard.
in searching, it was a very highly searched topic because what happened, Facebook was announcing big rollouts. LinkedIn and Google Plus basically tried to beat them to the punch, and they all released updates in a week. And Facebook just announced big updates. The other two actually rolled them out. So it was, everybody's, what do I do now, and all of that kind of thing. So it was a very hot topic for the window of time. So we created a blog post around what people would be searching. Changes on Facebook, changes on Google Plus, changes on LinkedIn, and we created an article around that recapping all of the changes on those social channels. We probably should have also followed it up with a unique per channel post, but again, time was not on our side at that point. We're like you, very busy people, and time doesn't allow, but we're still creating this content because we know this is one of the things that we can control to help generate better SEO for our website and drive traffic to the website. It's one of it. There are many, many, many ways to get people to your website. And measure it, and we're going to hear about that in 2 weeks, and it's going to be awesome. Yes?
Mike, when you use an image that you've downloaded off the internet or something, do you get dinged because it's not your original image?
Help me out.
A lot of
I don't think it does.
It's, when you copy something down, when you just post a picture on a website, there's no alt tag attached to it anyway. So a lot of times when you steal something from another site, the reason what he's talking about is you have to code it in alt tag format. Otherwise, Google just recognizes it as dead space anyway. So it's important to have a description of what it is you're posting. So if you steal the picture, it's not really going to ding you either which way. A lot of the plagiarism, what they're talking about, at least Google's most recent update again, they did another Panda update, which is really trying to iron out original content. And pictures, I don't think is as dinged as much. It's more along the content writing, pages within your sites, even the secondary pages, like the headers or different sub-pages within your website. You don't want any duplicate content leaking into your site at all. Pictures not necessarily as dinged as much. It's more just the information itself. But at anything in Google, it's like a great analogy, moving target. I love it. It's going to change anyway. But for now, I don't think it's as much. And even if you do copy, you just change the alt tag.
Okay.
So the picture that we utilized, Pam, what I did is when I found it and downloaded it, and it had been used 800 times, it's a very used image. When I downloaded it, I changed the name. I actually named it the keyword. And then I edited it, uploaded it to my site, changed the alt tag to match the keyword so that I optimized and it appears as an original image that we put up.
And I'm wondering if you change, usually when you download it, it's got its name.
Right.
And if you change that name.
I changed that to the
Yeah.
keyword. Yeah.
Okay, sounds like.
So within that, I think there's value. Images, it's a gray area depending on how you choose to approach it. I try to make sure I find out where the source is, and that it's not it's not content that people are trying to protect. They're not concerned with protecting. If I know it's something that came off of one of the sites that sells graphics, I won't use it unless I pay for it. But again, that's entirely up to you on what you decide on your images.
Yeah, the legality of it, I don't get into.
Yeah.
Sometimes getting
No,
credit.
I was just wondering, because you had mentioned the plagiarism, and I was wondering, if because a billion people have used that same image.
There's a great free site. Are you guys familiar with CopyScape?
I don't think I've used that one.
It's COPYSCAPE.
Cool.
And it actually gives you a ranking on how much of it's original and what's being dinged up to date as far as duplicate content on the web. If you want to know where your website's replicated content, that's a great way just to plug in.
Copyscape.
Copyscape. You only use it
Cool.
once a day. So if you use it once, you can't go back in and use it again.
Nice, thanks, Ed. Awesome. Let's see, Affluent Women, hey, green, there you go. Windows 8 slideshow, business strategy, social media tips, trying to find.
That's a draft, those are drafts.
Changes, here we go.
I think you have to do it twice.
Okay,
No races.
so here we go, and we'll,
So Mike gave me the title, and then I wrote it.
let's see, I am gonna jump to check. And again, you can get the assessment. Again, it doesn't all have to be green for it to be a searchable article or a good SEO article. It's once you've crossed the threshold of good enough, they're gonna give you a green. I like to come back, so it says we don't have an H2 subheading with the keyword in it, what we've identified at the keyword, so we could boost that a little bit more by having that H2 subheading with the keyword. Keyword density is low.
Doesn't make
Keyword
sense.
for this
That
page,
doesn't-
I don't know what
It
stop
doesn't make
words are.
sense.
Stop words in computing
Oh,
that are filtered out prior to or after processing the natural language. That one's new to me, so I learned something new today. Stop words.
but
Cool.
Mike, it said that there were no keywords,
It says zero.
and there were.
Yeah, I know, so something's not right there.
That's the question I've had for a while.
Yeah. And so something's a little bit off on that, I'm on a different computer, it's actually giving me a different report than on my home computer. Because the keyword data was in that breakdown that I shared with you within that article. So we'll have to figure out what the difference is there and why on this computer it's not giving us a clean report. Interesting. It normally works at home. Okay, let me find out where we're at here.
So you like your computer better?
Yes, absolutely. Did I close everything? I think I did. Oh, not sure. There we are.
If anybody wants us to review their blogs, we give them feedback.
Yeah, anybody want to look at a blog post? Anybody brave enough?
You want to put yours up there, Deborah?
Yeah, these are good.
So Sonoran,
-oasis.com blog or /blog.
Ed, I know in the last algorithm though, it affected substantially the use of keyword in URL. Supposedly that was diminished. So if I had landscaping Tucson, if I owned that, owning that was diminished in the last algorithm update is what I read.
Well,
Do you have?
a lot of the owning part of it is I like what you said. I have this graph that I use on a scale from 1 to 3, kind of like
Mhm.
what's substantial. Everything in the SEO, it's kind of people say use this, don't use this.
Uh-huh.
It's a ranking system.
Yeah.
It all works together. I don't know about diminishes, but it's not as relevant.
Yeah.
So it just changes, but once again, it knows what's going to happen
Yeah.
again. But but I love the ranking system because it kind of gives it on a scale from 1 to 3 what's important.
Yeah.
One's still important, but not as important as some of the other factors that are on.
Yeah. Consider put your energy on the 3s, not the
Right.
1.
It's all important, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just not as.
So article, hey, you've got it broken out into what's blooming in the Tucson landscape. So you have Tucson landscape, and was that your keyword intentionally or?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't think I used it very much.
Okay,
with
your density, okay?
Yeah.
Just gonna make
So
this
the
scroll on the
second
side.
sentence, what have you seen in Blooming or Tucson?
Now, I like this stuff here. I like bullet points. It's attractive to my eyes. It breaks the content up a little bit. Because if this were just listed out in a paragraph, I would, I don't want to read that. But it's broken out nicely. Sharif talks to that when he presents on blogging. Break it up. Have some natural breaks in there where people can say, okay, I feel I can take a breath. I'm comfortable consuming this page.
Pictures.
Yeah, nice. Cool. We like pictures. Oops, look at those.
So you have alt tags on all those pictures?
I renamed them and I put Sonoran Oasis Landscaping in there so they can be found that way. But yeah.
So then, important thing within your blogging system is that when you're uploading the photo, make sure to change that alt tag to your keyword phrase.
And should we put the name of our business too?
No.
No.
No, the point being is, in a blog post, everything in that blog post is going to point to that keyword phrase. So it's not at the business, it's at Tucson Landscaping would have been what these get alt tagged, because that was the keyword.
Because she has 3 of them, she wouldn't name them, alt tag them all Tucson Landscaping, or would she?
Yeah, you can, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, the name of the photo, this is different from the name of the photo. The name of the photo could be what the name of each
The plant was.
plant is.
Yeah.
But then alt tag is what behind the scenes is describing that image.
Could you do that right now, Mike? Could you show us how to do that?
Yeah, I can do one. We'll jump back over to our blog. And we'll go to Bismarck. Okay, let's go. And I'll get this page. I'll get this touch screen thing down. I'm going to go to media. Let's do it from a post. Let's act as if we were working on a post. I'm going to go back to this one. And let's say that I was adding another image to this post. So I would do add media, and I want to upload a file. And I'm going to select a file, and I'm going to grab one of the dum-dum images off of here. Maybe I will. I'm in a panda mood.
That's a koala.
Wow, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, fuzzy little, whatever thing. Okay, so here at this point in WordPress, it's right over here. So title, I can change that, but the important thing is right here in alt text. That's the piece that we're wanting to change on our images. So I'm going, whatever my keyword is, here's where I'm going to name that image within the context of that. Now, I title them that way too, but that's up to you. I think in Deborah's example, it would have been appropriate for this to, identify what that tree or bush or shrub is, and maybe say something in a caption about it in the description, but the alt text is the one that you're wanting to convert and name the keyword for that post. Does that make sense? So depending on your blogging platform, it'll be something like this, but this is exactly how it'll be on WordPress.
Mike, how important is the description? How important is the description?
Description, I think it's important because images are so searchable. Again, a lot of people will find content. If I wanted to look for trees, I would search the description for a kind of tree like Deborah had posted, and hopefully, by here and here, we're going to get that to deliver to Google Images. And then I want to have a description to go with it. I don't necessarily. I want them to come to my site more than anything.
Which,
But I like
they
to have
might
a
be
small
looking for
description.
koalas and accidentally
Yeah.
find your site.
Could you
Right.
do more than one description in that box, and if so, how do you separate it?
No, just a single description. And again, my context is, what's the context of what I'm using the image for in the post? I'm talking about this, and here's why. I was in a, what did we say we had here, a koala? I was in a koala mood, so I put a koala. I mean, I could say, you could say that if that fit what I was saying in the article.
You know, what I've been doing, and so tell me if this is correct, I choose my title, and then I just copy and paste in all those other boxes, the same thing.
When I'm in a hurry, I do the same thing.
What would be the optimal thing to do?
Optimal thing would be to fill it out and in the description write
A
summation,
full sentence.
a summation of what you're saying in the article. This image, I'm using it as an example of what not to do when angering animals.
So you probably mentioned the title, and then with your keywords, describe why you're using the koala. Maybe.
You mean here?
In the
Yeah.
description.
In the description, yeah. I mean, I may definitely have that inserted into, but the alt text is really only the one that I'm really going to get a big boost for, plus or minus, in search. Correct? Ed, do you agree?
Yeah, my mind, I'm sorry, I went to Pinterest, I was daydreaming, sorry.
Cool.
I was
Hey.
using images and where else to get
So-
links in,
Yeah.
my mind went somewhere else.
So guys use Pinterest too, huh?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
For SEO, but yeah.
Yeah. So images, other image questions?
No, the image question.
Oh, yeah, other
No,
questions. Any question?
Let's put another one.
I've heard.
Another picture?
No, I was thinking if somebody else's, if somebody else wants us to critique their blog post.
Oh,
But I think
But
Sue's
go
had
ahead,
a
Susan.
question.
I do. So I've heard from more than one person that blogs that they read other blogs that are in their area of interest, and one woman says she contacts that writer and gets permission to use it. Another says she crafts her thoughts and opinions of it and then uses parts of it.
Okay.
Both okay? I mean,
Ed answered that earlier, and that would be at least 60% original. I mean,
oh,
so if you just copy and paste and I got your permission to do that, all I'm doing is helping you. And that's okay if you want to help somebody else, but you're getting no SEO for your site when it's copied. It's got to be original. So what most people do, and it's kind of the blogging standard, is I'll take a small excerpt from their post
yeah.
and put it in quotations and all of that, give them credit for it and all of that. But then I'm going to shape my article around that like the other person said. And then my content is original. I'm also linking to another expert on the topic in that post.
Okay.
Are you guys ready to blog? You're going to be blogging machines now? So let's talk about process. What do some of you guys use in your process when it comes to ideas and getting started?
I start with just a personal experience that might be tied to, workshop I'm giving,
Okay.
or personal experience, and I'm just going to document it,
Okay.
and what the conflict was, how I worked through it, and
Okay.
a resolution piece.
Okay. Do you have when you're in your process of your week, do you have a time where you maybe have some downtime and you can kind of think creatively and go through and maybe on some platform make a list of blog posts you'd like to write?
It's on my calendar. That doesn't mean I always do it.
It's on your calendar. Okay.
You sent me.
It looks good.
So sometimes you get on a creative roll. So one of the things that I'll do is I'll just go into WordPress and I'll just create the titles. Here's 6 blog posts, and I haven't been that creative in a while. So think of ideas and then put them in there so that you can come back. You've already got the start of a post, and you're going to come back and flesh it out at a later point. However that works for you, yes.
I keep a file that, when I think of something, all it is article titles and ideas. And I just keep it in Word and I keep adding to it.
Uh-huh.
And then I use Google Alerts and I have keywords in there. So if something comes through, maybe there was a video or an article
Yeah.
that's from somewhere else, it'll show up in my email
Yeah.
and that'll give me ideas as well.
Yeah. I think no matter what you're doing, you should have some Google Alerts set up if you're feeding it for social media, but also, again, more importantly, that you originate that on your blog and you're not just sharing somebody's article, taking that excerpt, recrafting it so that you're getting SEO value for that post. Okay, what other?
Deborah mentioned to me one time that she has a calendar of seasons that she has access to, what's going on, you know, time to plant, time to prune, and that gets her juices.
So in the clothing season thing, same thing for you. It's time to put away your whatever and get out your whatever, and here's some things to go with that. Right? Totally left me. My brain left me. So I was going to suggest Evernote. I know several of you already use it. Create a category that is future content. You can also use the web snipper for that purpose, and I do that often. I do that for classes. When I'm presenting a class, I'll use the web snipper for a few weeks. I'll be dumping it into a file that is that category, and then when I'm ready to start packaging things, I'll go in and pull it all together, and it's all sitting there ready to go for me. You can also have that on your mobile device, so it's very easy to grab content and tuck it away into a file so that it's ready to go when you're ready. Okay, any other questions? I think we're there. All right, so you're ready to blog. Start blogging. I'm going to watch your blogs. Dale's going to watch your LinkedIn.
I'm going to watch both. So I just want to say one more thing. I want to give a shout out to Pam because she helped me out a lot on, I put it on Facebook. I don't know if you saw.
I had
People
lots
liked
of
and said
comments.
wonderful things about you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But, you know, here I am schlepping around to these stationery stores trying to get nice announcements done or thank you notes, and it was going to be 4 weeks to get them. And Pam's getting it next week, and she gives you personal attention. And so,
Thank you.
thanks
very,
so
very
much, Pam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can't
for
wait
the
to get them
business.
now.
Thank
Pam
you.
is
So
very
thank you,
generous.
everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.